everyone, and welcome to This Old Arcade. I'm Tim. Today we've got Atari's Pong. Our friend Daniel brought this in. He wants to restore it. What I'm going to do is work on the monitor. It's got a horizontal deflection problem, so we're just getting a little bit of a vertical line. So I thought you would all like to take a closer look at this cabinet here. As far as I know, it's the first Atari game, or at least the first Atari game with Atari's name on it. Came out in 1972, though I believe this cabinet here was probably produced in 1974 because of the revision on the board. If you ask what kind of processor it has or what speed it operates at, I would say no. No microprocessor, no RAM, no operating system. It's simply TTL logic. But we'll take a closer look at that later. I'll give you a good look at the front of the case here. Once I get this working, Daniel's going to take this to another good friend, and they're going to work on rebuilding the cabinet. The top needs to be replaced, and probably the sides. The front here, fortunately, is in really good shape, and the insides are in really good shape. So let's take a closer look at Atari's Pong. This cabinet was found in a storage building somewhere in eastern Arizona, I believe. It's received quite a bit of water damage. You can see this particular model has this coin box. I think the earlier ones didn't. It's got the wood grain with particle board, and even the T-molding is a wood grain pattern. And then you get to the nice aluminum control panel here. This game will it'll coin up, and when the video's synced into the monitor, I can see the paddle moving back and forth. But it looks like it's in a vertical roll right now, whatever it's doing. And this yellow part's in pretty good shape. The top's not in the best shape. Actually, it's in pretty pitiful shape. I'm going to turn the cabinet around here and we'll take a look at the back. The first thing that struck me about this cabinet is it's short. You saw how tall I was compared standing to it. It's a pretty short cabinet compared to, like, I think computer space was probably pretty tall. Let's take a look at the back here. It's really pretty simple construction. The cabinet parts are stapled together with a stapler. The back door appears to be hand sawn. We'll take the back door off here and get a look at the monitor here. On the inside of the back door, there's stapled the adjustment procedure for Pong video game. I doubt that phone number is good anymore. And it also had the schematic for the television. It's a black and white television that's in there. There's your coin mech. I'm going to turn the gain up here. There we go. Coin mech, coin switch, computer board, coin counter, there's a transformer. That's a low voltage transformer. It's a step down from 120 to, I believe, I'll have to look it up. It's about 10 volts AC. And then there's a 5-volt regulator at the top of the board there with a filter cap. It's not even a full wave bridge. It's just 2 diodes for the filtering. Up here we've got a fuse and an isolation transformer for the monitor, well, for the television, which has its original tuner. That's a VHF tuner there, and then right there's the UHF tuner. Over here there's UHF and VHF inputs, but that's not what they're doing. They're using that for audio and monochrome video input that goes directly to the IF. They're tapping into the output of the VHF tuner. The audio goes directly to the volume control pot at the front of the set where the speaker is. And then there's your television chassis, which I'm going to pull that out. We're going to go through and probably replace capacitors. And since I've got the original schematic for the TV, we'll check out the horizontal amplification circuit. There is a bezel taped to the front of the television. It reminds me of you know, what you'd find in an asteroids or a centipede. Just a typical. It's crude, but it's an Atari bezel. So I'll pop the camera off. We'll get a closer look at the inside here. Here's a look at the shelf that the monitor's mounted on. You can see it's a lot of handwork on there. There's even there's these notes. That's really interesting. Then there's your shelf underneath the coin door, or coin mech, and then there's your coin box. And over here, here's your get focus here. Here's your motherboard. This switch here is a it determines the score for winning. So there is one option switch. All right, here's a better look at the motherboard. You can see it's this Rev E, and I believe that dates to 1974. Going up here. There's your power supply section. This is a crystal here where they time the horizontal and vertical. They've got that 15.7 kilohertz for the horizontal and 60 hertz for the vertical rate. And they wind up turning the beam on and off at certain times during the scan rate to produce the graphics. So the beam's either on or full off. There's no black and white video. Normally has grayscale. They don't address that at all. It's just either on or off. Pretty simple. Now here's a look at the original schematic for the television. I doubt you'll find that anywhere on the internet. I'll try to make a scan of it and see if we can post it on thisoldarcade.com. All right, so let's credit this up and see what the sound sounds like. There you go. Little clicks. We'll really have to get the monitor working before we can see if the potentiometers on the control panel are working. I'll show you a quick look at those potentiometers. All right, looking underneath here, there's one side. It's an interesting looking pot. I don't know if I've ever seen anything quite like that before. Here's the other side. Very, very simple wiring harness. We'll try the, actually, the volume control. You have to reach around and adjust from the front of the television set, which I think I'm having trouble reaching. We'll have to work on that. That's it. That's where that's fed in. There. Oh, loose connection. All right. Let's pull this puppy out and see what we can do. Okay, let's see here. So we've got our power connector here. I'm probably not going to pull out the entire TV chassis because this bezel here, it's taped directly to the plastic frame on the top and the sides of the television. I don't want to disturb that or hurt that anyhow. I'll wait for whoever's going to work on the cabinet to do that, to work with that. So I'm just going to unscrew this here and see if I can pop this board up. I think there's a couple of pots. One's probably brightness and focus, and then these are your different controls for your geometry. How is this? That'll slide a little bit. I'm gonna pull out this anode cable here. Or the little socket for the neck. Okay, there is no connector for the yoke. And then this harness here is pretty tight for the tuners. So I'm going to spread this out a little bit. There we go. Got that free. Okay, now I can see the bottom here. I'm looking for cold solder joints on this little connector here. Solder joints actually look pretty darn good. Yeah, these yoke connections, the horizontal and vertical, are just wire wrapped around some pins there. I believe the yellow and the brown are vertical, and the black and the red are horizontal. And they kind of have it labeled. This little section here, it says horizontal. This little section here is vertical. And this is your high voltage section here. So I'm really interested in this here. There's a 2SC 940. That's going to be my horizontal output transistor. Over here there's a C1161. That's going to be my vertical amplifier. Let's see here. This is the little transformer. Well, there's two transformers here in the horizontal. What's this? There's another. Q502, T501, T502 for my transformers. There's always a possibility that in our power supply section, let's see, this is audio, this is video. It's nice they have these lines drawn on here. I may just wind up. There's a big filter cap here too. I may wind up shotgunning these caps and see, you know, what's bad and what's good. See if this slips out. Oh, there's some retainer clips on there. I'm going to leave that for now. So, all right, so the first thing I'm going to do, we'll go through these caps. There's not a lot in here, and I should have those values on hand. This is a 220 microfarad at 16 volts. We'll put all higher temperature capacitors. And see. All right, so I'm going to get my soldering iron and get busy here. All right, so I've gone through and recapped the monitor board, and didn't really find any issues with that. And using the schematic, I've done voltage tests in the horizontal section, and really got some funny voltages there. There's a horizontal oscillator, a horizontal drive, and horizontal output. So there's still something going on with one of these transistors. I'm going to pull them out one by one and test them. I switched focus and decided I wanted to see what the board was putting out. I switched focus and wanted to see what the board was actually putting out. So I got this old monochrome monitor here, and just to see what the game board's putting out. And there's a problem. with the game board. It's got these vertical bars here. You have the center line, which is correct. There's a 14 there. Let's see if I shift my horizontal hold. Puts up a 4 and a 14, but that horizontal position's shifted wrong. If I coin up, the sound does work, but I've got the sound disconnected. And see there, it puts our paddles on the screen, and it sets our score to 0-0. The sound works, but there's no ball being generated, and these paddles should actually be wider. I have to rotate my light there. I'm getting too much glare. That should be better. So the paddles work, and that goes up and down, and we get the line, but there's no ball, no scoring. So there's a chip or some chips out in the motherboard that's causing that error. So I think that's as far as we're going to be able to go for now. We'll take a look at this later and do some more research and figure out if we can get the board working properly. Then we'll keep working on the monitor as well. So let me work this other paddle here. You can see the other paddle works fine. The pots seem really good. So we just need to get that get that board fixed before we can go any further. Well, stay tuned on this one. We'll come back to you with further videos once we figure more out on it. It's a really interesting set of problems. So for this old arcade, I'm Tim. Thanks for joining us.